what has happened over the last several weeks, by virtue of the invitation that was issued by the Speaker and the acceptance of it by Prime Minister Netanyahu on 2 weeks in advance of his election, is that on both sides there has now been injected a degree of partisanship, which is not only unfortunate, I think it's destructive of the fabric of the relationship.
All right, the only people destructive of the fabric of the relationship are Susan Rice and Barack Obama and the rest of the administration, in my opinion. Joining us now is Danon, Likud party member of the Israeli Knesset, former Deputy Minister of Defense for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And Danon, welcome back as always. What are you thinking when you hear Susan Rice say what she just said?
Well, we all know that there are some people in the administration that would like us to ignore what's happening today with Iran, but we cannot ignore it. Maybe some people in the administration are willing to accept the reality that Iran will be military capable of developing the nuclear bomb. We will not allow it. So yes, we are arguing about it, and I think the Prime Minister must come and speak everywhere and to say to the American public as well, it is a threat to the American people if we will allow Iran to develop these capabilities, and we cannot accept what we're hearing, that it's maybe not now, in 10 years they will achieve the capability. Iran should not be capability to develop the bomb. It is a threat not only to us in Israel.
All right, I want to get to that in a second, but also I read today where Prime Minister Netanyahu turned down a request to meet privately with Senate Democrats. Do you know anything about that? Do you know why he would do that?
Well, I think the Prime Minister he came to speak to the houses together in a joint session. I don't think he should meet particular, even though when they come to Israel, he meets the senators and congressmen from both parties. We always keep the bipartisan approach, and we know we have friends that supporting Israel from the Democrats and the Republicans, and we admire that. That's why I think the Prime Minister should not meet only senators or congressmen from one party.
Well, let me ask you this. You say both parties, we have friends, and that's true. But what happens if a good number of some of those people that you thought were friends of Israel on the Democrat side do not show up for that speech?
Well, I think you will be surprised. I think you will see that the people will come and hear the Prime Minister, because he is speaking on behalf of the Jewish people, on behalf of the people in Israel, the closest ally of the U.S. So I think you will be surprised to see, even though we might get the cold shoulder from few people in the administration, I think that you will see Democrats and Republicans coming and listening to the Prime Minister, because they also want to hear what is really going on with the negotiations with Iran. I don't think that the congressmen are informed enough and know exactly what's happening today with the negotiations.
Is Israel informed enough? Because there are reports also, Danon, that Obama has cut Israel out of the loop. Is that true?
Well, we have our means and capabilities, and I can tell you that the direction that it's going, it's bad. It's bad. It's a bad agreement, and I prefer personally that there will be no agreement with Iran. If it will be the agreement that Secretary Kerry is negotiating as we speak, I think it's going to the bad direction.
No, I understand that, and maybe if you can't answer it, then don't. I understand you have your sources, but notwithstanding that, is it true that the U.S. has kept Israel or taken Israel out of the loop and is not briefing them on how these talks are going?
Well, today when you have so many people involved, and it's not only the U.S., you have European countries as well involved, and I think, it's a matter of days until we know exactly what is being negotiated, and the direction that the U.S. is accepting the fact that Iran will be nuclear military capable to develop the bomb. It is unacceptable for us, and also the fact that they're talking about a timeline of delaying the process. We are here to stay, God's will. I don't think we should allow Iran to become nuclear, not today, not in 5 years, and not in 10 years.
What about this new, the revelation of a new secret nuclear plant inside Iran? Is that the case? And do you believe there could be others even outside of Iran that is helping Iran, maybe in Syria, maybe in North Korea?
You live very far away from the region, but we get a daily wake-up call from Iran. We see what they're doing with Hezbollah in the north, and we see the way they are channeling funds to develop terrorist activities, and we know that that's the direction that they are going. So maybe when they negotiate in Geneva, they speak very nicely, and they have excellent English, and they are very impressive, but we see here in the Middle East that they are supporting terrorist organizations, and yes, we have a lot of reason to be afraid from the direction that they are heading, and they are capable to develop the bomb, and maybe in the future also to deliver it to other terrorist organizations.
All right, and as far as the election, how's the Prime Minister doing in the polls?
Well, it's very close according to the polls. We are 3 weeks from today, and we are working very hard. And I hope that the Israeli public will allow the Likud party to continue to lead the nation, but it is an open race.
All right, Danny, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Danny Danon, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope he's right, that we'll be surprised, and Democrats and Republicans alike will both show up for this speech. But I'm hearing from more and more. I expect many in the Congressional Black Caucus not to show. I expect many Democrats who are not in the Congressional Black Caucus not to show. We know that the man who would sit behind the Prime Minister in one of the seats, the Vice President, he's got more important things to do. Maybe he's got to, smell somebody's perfume or drive around with one of his Somali cab driver friends, which don't exist. All right, Rafi Williams of the RNC is next. But first, do you know what to do with your unused or empty prescription bottles? Find out how to properly dispose of them with this hour's Max to Health moment now.